Hey there, my name's Niandra. Welcome to Mercy Commentary VODs where I play competitive, then talk about my plays and mistakes. We're on Iconwald at around 4000 SR, it's a win, and these are my final stats. For the last couple of months I've been taking a sort of break from playing comp on my main account and I really want to get back into it. This match we had Emongg on the team which added a lot of pressure and you can definitely see and hear some nervousness throughout, but I definitely held my own after a rough start. On defense, you should begin by damage boosting people like Ryan, Ashe, Moira and so on. I do the same here on attack, and I'm feeling like it might be a waste without coordinating with my Reinhardt. There's a few seconds of beam downtime right out the gate that could have been spent blue beaming our shooting soldier. Our injured anti-naded soldier runs past me and places down his biotic field. I use this as an opportunity to beam at injured Zarya instead because she's more pushed up and likely to take damage. I take a lot of damage and just panic. I'm thinking I can't stay in this building because I'm gonna get pushed, but from this freeze frame I may have been fine since our Rhine is keeping theirs at bay. If you watch my streams you'll know that I am a chronic fire strike eater, like it's a consistent bad habit for me. In this situation, with Ryan being here, this area is most likely going to be in his line of sight for Fire Strike, which I ran towards. I was worried that if I positioned in this area, that an enemy would push me from here, but by the time I move out of the room, I have decent health from regeneration. I think the correct play overall was to ask my Ana for healing, probably while inside the building. I could technically blame this death on her for not helping me because she is right next to me the whole time, but like I'm not going to learn anything from doing that, especially when I have a microphone and know that asking increases my chances of teammates helping me. Not much I could have done here, but for future reference I may want to be careful with super jump when my allies are inside a building and I'm not. It's very easy for me to cut off beam line of sight due to the walls around us, which you can see with my beam downtime during that last fight. This time, I damage boost our Rhine and decide to flick my beam onto Soldier earlier to avoid the beam downtime, and then he immediately fire strikes afterwards, like god damn it. I've mentioned before that if your team is split in two groups, the supports usually shouldn't be in the same one to allow for more equal healing. I spin towards Ana and the tanks after I hit enemy Earth Shatter to see if they're okay, and they're fine, our Rhine blocked it. In that case, I probably could have just stayed with the DPS and let Ana continue handling the tanks. I have the choice between rezzing Soldier and beaming our injured Zarya, and I choose to damage boost her since there's a singular baby diva in front of us. I go for the res on Soldier once she's dead, but I probably could have left him to respawn normally since we've won the fight. It wouldn't really be an issue if Soldier got the old spawn when he can just sprint back.
Annoying ass ever heard my fucking life. Don't talk again.
Zarya heads up the stairs and I realise that the left side will give me the most cover from enemies above. Then it hits me, positioning here cuts off my view to allies outside unless they're specifically here, so actually let's move forward instead and sit on the health kit.
I need help.
Alright, well that I didn't expect whatsoever, so let's just try to fall back and just crouch spam until I'm safe. In a few seconds I'm gonna die to Dragon Strike, but I don't have much to say because I kinda misjudged the position and just walked into it. The solution was to simply use my left side allies as a fly path where I tank some damage but hopefully not enough to kill me.
It's getting wrestled.
In situations like this where the enemy may continue pushing up, it's really important for my team to be aware that Ana's not here yet, that it's just me healing them, and my healing's not great.
Again, Ana's still behind us. Anna can't see you guys. No line of sight.
I step forward to body block our Alto McCree, but there's no real point when he has a Rhine shield in front of him. Then Diva Bomb gets launched and I just abandon the play anyway. Going back to the Ana thing, I could have used Valkyrie for healing if I really needed to, but that feels wasteful when I know my second healer is competent.
Honestly, we won.
Zarya calls out enemy Ana and is being healed by ours. Since we have good picks, I kinda wish I'd flicked my damage boost onto one of our long-range DPS to help out with the kill. Again, if Ana's with the tanks on payload and both DPS are repositioning, I should be with them.
Okay, you ready? Come on. Kill him.
Yep, got you guys.
This unneeded Guardian Angel towards allies in front of me is basically about to get me killed. It hits me that Ryan hasn't shattered in a while and 3 squishies is a prime target, so I'm gonna try to make distance, but I won't have enough time to do it.
Shout it, be careful, shout it.
At this point, my only real hope is just praying that the charge runs out before we hit a wall.
Well, good luck to us.
But yeah, keeping distance from allies is a basic positioning guideline and I broke the rule. Hovering over the edge like this probably would have dodged the ult. Our McCree is going to be injured here while I'm here, and I don't want to push forward while my team is still regrouping in case I'm picked off while peeking this area. Thanks to having a microphone, I'm able to coordinate with him.
Beam disconnected on you, McCree. Can't get it back.
Baby, do you have a high ground? That was so sexual for
Still
no
at the
reason.
car?
You're welcome.
Sometimes when I haven't used Valkyrie for a while, I get really anxious and use it less optimally just to stop holding onto it, and I think that kinda happened here. Anna dies, and if I wanted to Valk here, I had to do it early to take into consideration the beam breakage, which is kind of a big deal when I'm solo healing.
Yeah, res me. I have H rounds.
There's a
Res me.
I'm dead.
Yeah, there's a
Oh, there's
point.
point. There's point.
Res me.
Resing our McCree could well have been the right play here, but I was just so flustered from my first Valkyrie being 4 minutes into a match and not great, along with him repeatedly asking. I think the idea of resing also made my beam juggling between Soldier and Zarya a lot weaker, as I ended up focusing more on the former due to him being closer to the corpse.
McCree above
This
him.
was
low. I got logged. It might be resible.
I'll try when Dragon goes.
Our Soldier's dead, McCree just died a Hanzo, meaning Anna's likely alone with him while our tanks are here. I think the best play was to just try and help out Anna, then res McCree if she lived. I didn't want to go for the res earlier because both enemy Hanzo and D.Va were above me and I saw an ally get bubbled, but asking Rein to shield it may have been possible. In my Mercy tank pairing guide, I mentioned that when it's just you and one other ally left in a clearly lost fight, it can be worth damage boosting them so they die quicker to avoid staggering while getting some ult charge in the process. I really wish I had pushed this with my tanks, but it can be hard to let allies die sometimes because the opposite is so ingrained.
I will take high ground.
A clean bill of health. Your support has arrived.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna. What?
Damage increase.
There's a he's
Ryan's still
sweeping.
behind us.
Team is very low. Big slam. Grab it now. Grab it now. Speed.
There's still Ryan behind. I repeat, there's still Ryan behind. He's swinging on a Ryan.
Let's see if my ally is resable. No? Alright, let's just move away. A part of me thought about going for it after pushing up the lane, but with our Anna dead and enemy Hanzo nearby, I cannot take the risk and just push up instead.
How many? Holy
Oh my
shit.
god.
Look, you see that kill the Lucio? I fisted him.
You needed a guard.
One thing to keep in mind when super jumping is how far away your target is, because you may end up spending a lot of time on the ground when your goal is to be in the air. This one was kind of risky considering we saw enemy right near our allies and we'll be heading right towards him. From Valkyrie health bars we can see enemy McCree is low, and if I can finish him off that means less chance of Tracer getting stunned. Tragically, I fumble and accidentally melee before pulling the pistol out, which delays my damage.
Oh, get me out of the store.
After we win the fight, I hover in front of the peak hole and look at the scoreboard, which is pretty exposed. I'm very brief and it's not likely an enemy would be pushed up after a lost fight, but why take a risk that's not necessary?
Yeah, they've got slam for sure. Anything else? Did they use nano? I believe so.
Performance level.
I'm not 100%.
Fucking me.
Let's get you back out there.
Whatever, it's nano. They're probably gonna have it this fight anyway.
My team gets shattered and I try my best to juggle healing between everyone, but it's just too much. I abandon our Rein Zarya a little later than I should have and I try to get out alive. I should have accounted for enemies realising I wasn't dead and pushing up to kill me. In that case, jumping off here would have done it quicker while denying enemies ult charge from doing so.
Sorry, bro. Don't even fucking worry about this shit, bro. Fucking probably not.
What?
We aren't great on time, but I don't want to res Soldier this close to spawn. If we get inside the castle and someone else gets picked off, I can't do anything about it, and that might ruin one of the last pushes we get, especially if it's someone like Anna. That being said, it might have been worth flicking my camera view behind me to see how far back our Soldier is and tell the team to wait up if he's still a moderate distance.
I grab 20.
Our Zarya said she's 20 to grab, so let's try to hard pocket her with damage boost. I intentionally walk forward here out of cover for a mini body block on our Anna.
Come on, hit one.
Run.
Team is dead.
Resing Anna, no healing. Healing.
I got grabbed.
Someone over here. There's someone over here.
After my team wins a fight, especially ones like this so close to the end, I should be checking the scoreboard to see if any enemies have swapped heroes, maybe the stall characters, so we aren't caught by surprise during what is likely the last fight.
Let me get you.
Yo, I must have visor.
I grabbed 3 left side.
I'm breaking the barrier. Leave out the car. This is huge. Watch out.
Can't res, sorry.
Minus 1.
Yeah, he's so fucking low. Tracer behind.
Damage increase.
He's dead. He's dead.
There's Hanzo on the right side.
I don't want.
I damage boost Soldier through his ult, and I don't care about the tiny bit of health he's missing when we've got so many picks. Like, we just want to push the blue beam all the way here. 15 seconds into a round, the enemy team composition is revealed on the scoreboard. It's useful in general, but for Mercy especially, since she may want to adjust her positioning depending on what the enemy team is running. For example, they have Tracer, so I stick to high ground. Here, I forgot to do that, and just in general this match, I feel like my scoreboard usage has been a little lacking.
They're gonna keep speed boosting. They keep getting aggressive. Get ready. Bubble when you're on.
My team is fucked.
Watch out,
Red's right side, be careful guys.
Okay.
Rezzing Anna, no healing, no healing.
My shield's broken.
Still need you.
Diva's very low. Diva's one. You see him?
Ryan Bear, one.
Your
How's it one?
has arrived.
I'm gonna have my beam on Zarya and flick between damage boost and healing while she's injured. This is because she's behind our Ryan shield and the blue part of her health automatically regenerates over time.
Diva should be getting low too. Diva's low. Diva's low. Diva's one.
I could have been a bit quicker, but when Zarya says that Diva is 1, I stop healing our Ryan to boost her because Zarya's beam-based weapon is great against Diva.
His bet is down.
Evil one. My shield's broke completely.
Is there Sombra? I'm gonna grab from high ground.
Damage boost engaged.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, come on.
I damage boost our stealthy Zarya, then disconnect my beam. I don't want to give away her position with the noise, so let's wait until someone climbs up top.
Nice.
You've got this.
I'm not super happy with how I positioned and hard focused on our Zarya here, but I think ultimately it was the right move. I didn't want to walk past our Grav in case the enemies went after me, and going round the other way would have led to a lot of beam downtime.
My ultimate is ready.
Alright, we got Nano Visor. Next fight.
Rezzing,
Oh,
sorry.
they silly.
Damage increased.
I focus my camera view on the Zarya I'm healing, and I wish I had flicked it left more to track the rest of my team. Anna most likely has them covered, but I should know that for sure.
I can't believe you.
A lot of Valkyrie guides, mine included, will warn you about heading into the sky, but it's not always a bad play. I know they're running Diva, Genji and Sombra, who should all struggle to get me so far up. If they try, I'll see them coming a mile away and can easily reposition.
Leave out almost at the car.
She's right side, right side.
I don't think I had to abandon that pistol play. I was hitting the shots and she was super close to being demeched, but I guess I was just worried about ignoring my team. However, we got enough picks that, like, they're probably fine. From the scoreboard, we can see that Sombra went Widow, which I should have called out to my allies.
Backing away.
Careful shadow.
That super jump would have left me exposed to enemies at the choke, which is pretty dangerous when we know they have Widow, but I was afraid of getting hit by Earth Shatter if I just GA to my allies normally.
Well done.
2 allies are dead, and it looks like the other 2 are retreating, which compels me to follow them. I was worried that if I super jumped on top instead, I would lose beam connection and just kind of be stranded.
What's that? I'm on the run. The legs are moving.
Ah, the wonders of modern medicine.
Did you cooldowns?
I've got you.
Come out and face me.
Can you blue beam me high ground here?
Damage increased.
I love damage boosting allies on top of the castle, and I always look down below to keep an eye on the rest of my team, even though it's kinda hard to see the outlines.
Be careful.
What the hell? Oh! I'm running. He
I'm
failed.
also
He
running.
failed. It was a horrible blade. They nailed like already after.
I can res when we get space.
Pistoling Genji could have been a good move here because he's facing away from me so he can't reflect it. However, I also don't want to draw his attention to me. Either way, having the pistol out while there's no beam targets is almost always a good play, so I'm not defenseless.
Line's dead. Oh, I'm just taking a quick nap.
Oh!
Cannot res you, sorry.
Healing stream engaged. Damage amplified.
We got Widow.
Again, still not shattered, be careful.
I gotta remember that Shatter has a longer range than my beam, so if I can reach an ally, Shatter can reach me. In that case, super jumping onto this porch may have been safer positioning.
Diva up top with you guys.
I ignore soldiers I need healing requests because Anna's up top with him and the tanks are alone below.
We use a lot here.
I'm in there.
Milo. Nice job.
You can kill her Ana.
Dude.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Let's get you back out there.
Yo, this guy's a little upset.
Have they shattered yet?
No, he still has that.
Okay.
Anyone?
Where does it hurt?
Wanna bubble your on?
Can't see you, Tracer, sorry.
I've got you.
Come and face me.
Widow's one.
Powered up. I read you.
I look at my allies while beaming them, then realise they have Genji and someone could flank me, so let's flick my camera view more.
You You should be at peak
We're
performance.
going back high ground.
Yeah, I've got
If Soldier, no more Widow.
We use grab, and although our Rhine may have been the better damage boost target than our Zarya here, I didn't want to get anywhere near him in case it encouraged their Rhine to shatter in return.
I don't think we do.
No, nobody playing Nano Blade Lance. I don't know why he slammed her. Just kill with Nano Blade.
Bad news, we lost the fight. Good news, they use both Nanoblade and finally Earth Shatter. When we're running Mercy Anna and have no defensive ult, them using 3 high impact ults in one go ends up being really good for us in the long run, even though short term we lost the fight.
Let me get you patched up.
Thank you.
Oh god, I'm in trouble. He's one. Nice, you can res it.
Whoa, I need
Rising
help on
Soldier?
court, guys.
But huge play.
We still need you.
Ryan's perf, I'm on Ryan with you. I woke him up for you immediately after so he can survive and do some stuff he wants to do.
Damage
Ultra low.
right beside you.
I must have visor. Just keep playing.
I think Diva's ult just went off the map and I killed her. Yep.
Not many of us here, but our spawn is a lot closer, so I think I can Valk to keep my team stable until more are back.
I got soul shattered, dude. What?
Although I haven't seen her yet, Nano Boost indicates our Anna is back with view on Reinhardt, which should give me enough breathing room to go for the res on Soldier.
Okay.
Because we're stalling and have good picks, I should be hard damage boosting characters like Rhine who require less aim rather than Anna.
Diva one? Or Soldier? Or I don't know.
Or is he?
Hey, and there we go. I hope you enjoyed this return to commentary VODs, and I really hope to do some more in future. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out my Patreon where I do Mercy VOD reviews for $5, and have a nice day.